Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Golden MF Michael Fletcher alongside my buddies Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. Gentlemen, we got ourselves a loaded show tonight, so let's just dive right in. Let's kick it off with AEW Dynamite, as always. And the first thing that we had was a match, as it was a six-man tag team match as it was Adam Hangman Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds. They went up against the private party of Mara Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, and Matt Hardy. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 10 minutes and 45 seconds was the private party and Matt Hardy. I mean, it was a good match. It was a very good um beginning start to the show. This was about, I'm gonna say, about a solid 3 stars. I think it was okay. I don't think it was overly crazy. But it was good showing by everybody, and it looks like we might have a rivalry between the Hangman Adam Page and the broken one or the woken one, Matt Hardy. That's gonna be an interesting storyline if they materialize with that. But it does look like, yeah, it's gonna happen. So with that said, we're just gonna dive right on in. So Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, this was a 3-star match for me as well. This was the fun, fast-paced match that sets the table for the rest of the show and creates an energy for every other match to feed off of. Page and Dark Order demonstrated some solid in-ring chemistry, each of the 3 competitors having the opportunity to showcase their abilities. The underrated Alex Reynolds really shined in his brief outburst late in the match. The story here was more about Hardy picking up the pieces and gaining the glory of the win, despite leaving Quen and Cassidy to carry the load of the work. Matt Hardy is very clearly turning heel. His truth is the truth shtick likely to be the theme of his next run. It is only a matter of time before Private Party severs ties with the veteran competitor, necessitating the heel turn, if it doesn't come before that. But a solid 3-star match to kick things off here tonight on Dynamite. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Phenom, let's get your thoughts.
Yeah, I think this was a 3-star match as well, and definitely a great way to start off AEW Dynamite. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I could definitely see Matt Hardy definitely turning heel eventually because, I mean, he gave the Private Party. I mean, Private Party basically carried the load, like you said. So, and I didn't know what to make of the Hangman Page and John Silver, especially team, but yeah, I mean, they seem to gel well. Whether this continues, we're just gonna have to wait and see. So, 3-star match for me. So, Mike, let's move on.
All right, so we did move on. There was a backstage segment with the Inner Circle without Warlow. Okay, fine. No more with that. But then we got ourselves another surprise, another segment, and this one we definitely needs to talk about. It was Cody Rhodes and Brandy. They were shown decorating a Christmas tree where a doorbell rings and they find a small little gift box. They take a look inside, open it up, and it had some baby shoes. And you're like, wait, what? Well, it says we're expecting a new baby in 2021. Then it shows a camera of the dog Pharaoh saying baby security in training. Guys, Cody Rhodes and his lovely wife Brandy are expecting. Brandy is pregnant. This will be their first child together. Off the heels of the big announcement of about a couple of weeks ago about Jon Moxley and Renee Paquette, or Renee Young, and we now found out that Renee and Jon is having a girl. We just found out about a few days ago that Jon Moxley and Renee Paquette are expecting a baby girl. Anthony Florio, there's a baby boom going on in AEW. Jon Moxley and his wife, Now Brandy and Cody are now expecting.
I wonder what Dusty must be thinking up in heaven right now.
Oh my.
Dusty would have been like, "Oh
Oh,
man,
he must be absolutely over the moon right now.
yeah," and how much he would have loved to have been a part of his future grandson or granddaughter's life.
Yes. Yes.
But at least Mama Michelle is still around. Mama Michelle will be a nana, so big moment for her, and that's gonna make Dustin an uncle.
Yes, it
So
will.
Uncle Dustin, and after all these years, young Dakota's gonna finally have a cousin to play with and whatnot. So yeah, big moment indeed. Yeah, there must be something in the water down there in Jacksonville, wouldn't you say? I mean, we got a lot of water down there. I mean,
Yeah,
after all, it is Florida. I mean,
it
how many?
is. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty close to the Atlantic Ocean over there, or you can go, or if you go on the other side, you take a dip into the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, so there's plenty
Yeah,
of water around.
yeah, there must be something in it if we're having all these pregnancies here. I mean, with Moxley and Renee, that was announced on the Bella Twins podcast. I mean, you can find that video on YouTube. The gender reveal, they did that on the Bella's show, and now this. I mean, big moment indeed for Cody and for Brandy. Um, we here at the Wrestling Forum and Wednesday Night Mayhem, we send our well wishes and
Congratulations, guys.
yes, indeed, Mazel Tov, and that's all there is to say.
Ohio.
Yeah, indeed. But getting back to the business at hand with the match, what was the time of that fall again, MF?
Oh, I actually did not talk about the match. It was Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry, I did not talk about it. Cody Rhodes versus Angelico, and Cody won the match in 9 minutes and 45 seconds. But after the match, Taz and his crew showed up, and well, let's just say they weren't really happy with Cody's announcement. Beat down on baby daddy.
Yep, and then a certain icon showed up. Um, Tony Schiavone,
It's Sting!
yes, indeed, and Michael Bullock is our Tony Schiavone on this with me as Excalibur and MF as JR, obviously, if we were doing it, but yeah, I got to give this another solid 3-star match. I mean, Cody has a tendency to take undercard talents who have impressed in recent weeks and work with them in a high-profile singles bout, allowing them to benefit from working with one of the company's top stars. This was no different as Angelico was allowed to showcase his abilities outside of the confines of a typical tag team match, and the result was a solid match, hampered ever so slightly by the timeout. Team Taz continuing their rivalry with Cody made sense and allowed the leader of that faction to remind viewers of the impending Darby Allin-Brian Cage match. It was the appearance by Sting, the tease of an inevitable match with Cody, and his obvious influence on Darby Allin, the TNT champion, that continues to create intrigue and keep fans engaged. Thus far, Sting has been utilized to perfection and created a number of compelling story threads that AEW can explore, flesh out, and pay off over the course of the next year if it so pleases. So, yeah, I liked everything about this, and that's all there is to say on that. So, another solid 3-star match here. So Michael Bullock, I mean, your thoughts on the match and your thoughts on Cody and Brandy about to become parents.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely a great moment. Brandy and Cody are gonna be proud parents for the first time ever, and I'm just so happy for them. I mean, with everything they've been through, and now here they are getting the chance. And I'll tell you what, guys. I mean, I'm sure it's a mixed emotions for Cody. I mean, yes, he's happy that he's a dad, but I'm sure that he's a little sad that his father, the late great Dusty Rhodes, isn't around to share in this experience, and to to have the granddaddy there, but at least the grandma's is going to be around to experience it, and I know she's going through a lot of emotions too after the announcement. So I definitely, we all want to congratulate Brandy and Cody. You're gonna make great parents, as far as I'm concerned. Um, and Anthony, you being the faithful man, you know the good Lord has definitely blessed these two with a great child that's going to be heading their way.
Absolutely. And, I mean, yeah, we talked about it. I mean, Dusty, I mean, you can only imagine Dusty. I mean, how awesome would that have been if Dusty had still been around? I mean, he would have been a hell of a grandfather, no question about it. I mean, I know he was a great one to Dakota, Dustin's daughter.
Yeah, and you wonder if he would suggest polka dots for his grandbaby.
Huh.
Uh,
That would be good.
well,
That would be interesting.
that would be interesting.
If it's a
I
grandson, maybe. If it's a grandson, maybe. I don't know about a granddaughter. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I also gotta wonder is if it's a boy, will there be a nod to Dusty? Meaning, will there be a reference to Dusty in the name for if it's a son? I think that would be a fitting tribute to have his to for maybe, I don't know if they're gonna call him Dusty or maybe have his middle name as Dusty as a
I,
as a Rhodes. I don't know.
I have an interesting thought. I mean, Arn Anderson is the coach of the Nightmare Family. I mean, do you think there's a chance that maybe Arn Anderson could possibly be this son or daughter's godfather, perhaps?
I would not rule that out.
Yeah, I
Absolutely
wouldn't rule it
not.
out either.
I would not rule that out. I would say, well, obviously, it has to be a mutual decision because you also got it because Brandy's gonna have a lot of input on this as well. So
Hmm.
we just can't say
Yeah,
that it's just Cody's decision as well because I think the mother of the baby has a
Yeah,
lot of input on
certainly.
on this. So let's
it's a
so
mutual decision.
I think this will have to be a 50-50 decision, and
A, a
I but
mutual decision,
knowing,
as I say.
yes, agreed, but I believe that Brandy and Cody will make the right decision
Hmm.
on everything. I'm confident enough that
Certainly.
whatever we may be throwing or ideas or whatever, I think they've already got something in mind already. I mean,
I mean, Arn's an idea, but then again, they could make Dustin the godfather. That's possible.
it's very possible, and
Hmm.
I know Cody and Dustin are very close. I know Cody and Arn are very close.
Arn's a
So
friend of the family, so
friend of the family, no doubt. So I mean,
Yeah.
there definitely could be something there that definitely will play out. The one big downside to this, and there is a downside, was that I think there was going to be a storyline between Gail and Brandy and Shaq and Cody.
oh,
I
Jade.
think, huh?
You mean Jade?
Jade. I think that storyline's now off the table.
Oh, obvious.
Unfortunately, that one is now off the table because you can't do that storyline now.
No.
Brandy is now officially out of the action for 1 year. She will not be competing. So yeah, this was a I mean, the timing of it is absolutely perfect. Holiday season for an announcement for this to happen. It's great. I mean, there's really
Hmm.
nothing bad to say about it. I mean, in wrestling, in professional wrestling, in especially in storylines, maybe the worst possible time for it to happen. But when it's something natural, something that's different, that's you know you can't control or you can't even predict, that's something that's out of the realm of possibility, and that's
Hmm.
just something that you can call it divine intervention, you can call it a gift from the gods, whatever, but that's different. That is something that none of us can even put our finger on.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
something that's out of the realm, out of something normal for a big announcement like that. I mean, all right, we are a wrestling show, so we're thinking storylines and everything else. But when something like this happens, when an announcement of somebody that Brandy Rose is expecting, it throws everything out the window. Every storyline, every idea, everything that was probably was they had in mind that they wanted it to do, forget it. It's gone. It's written out. It's no longer in use. Same thing what happened with Becky Lynch when we found out that she was expecting. Remember, there was a storyline going on that maybe it was going to be Asuka versus Becky down the line. There was going to be a storyline around that. Maybe Becky Lynch keeps the belt. Of course, there's the thing about maybe Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Now, Becky already had the baby. She had it at the beginning of the month. Now, the question is, will there be enough time for a match at WrestleMania? It's not out of the realm of possibility. There is a chance, but we gotta wait to see how does Becky feel going into that fight. This is the same thing now. Obviously, the Jade versus Brandy storyline will have to stop, and it will probably be retroactive to next year. So we could see this rivalry get picked up in 2021 if they want to go down that route. You don't know. Now, there's the talk about Shaquille O'Neal versus Cody Rhodes. That could still happen. That is not out of the realm of possibility. Those two guys could end up in a wrestling match down the line because there's been a lot of back and forth going on between these two guys on social media. So that could open the door for a match. I'm not going to say it will or it won't, but it definitely does open the door for it. So we'll see. We'll see. All
Yeah.
right, guys.
And
Oh,
and
go ahead.
and I didn't give my rating yet, so 3 stars is my rating when it comes to this. And yeah, as far as the whole thing with Sting, I mean, I think they're building him really well for what can we expect down the line. So yeah, so now go ahead, Fletch.
Whole bunch of filler after that. Then we had a 12-man tag. Oh my god. Okay. Inner Circle. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Santana Ortiz, Jake Hager, and MJF. They went up against Trent, Chuck Taylor, uh, Darius Martin, Dwayne Martin, the Martin brothers, Brian Pillman Jr., and Gruff Grayson. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 14 minutes and 20 seconds was the Inner Circle. They won the match. Michael Bullock, you lead off on this matchup.
Yeah, this to me was a really good 12 man tag team match. But man, I mean, we saw a lot out of this one when it comes to this. So I'm going to give this about 3.5 stars. A good showing, and obviously they wanted to put the Inner Circle over. I mean, especially with what we've been seeing from them. So a nice win for them. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, I mean, a good first showing for the Inner Circle with MJF on there on joining them.
I mean, this match was all over the place. I mean, yes, there was some good stuff, there was some bad stuff, there was stuff I liked, there was stuff I hated. It was solid for what it was worth. It was only a 3-star fight for me. The length of time was great, the story was good, but there was so many interchangeable parts in this match. It was just too much to wrap your head around. Sometimes they say less is more. This time around, this was nothing but a cluster bleep for me. Anthony, it's yours.
before I give my rating, if you guys are wondering what happened to Wardlow, Wardlow had due to a personal family issue was unable to travel. So that's what happened to Wardlow, if you were wondering. So I just found that on a dirt sheet a little bit ago. So there's that mystery. As far as this goes, 2.5 to 3. The action was solid and consistent, never giving fans the opportunity to their collective breath. Unfortunately, like MF said, there were so many moving parts, so many performers to service, and not nearly enough time for everyone to get all their stuff in and properly showcase themselves. As a result, what could have been an extraordinary multi-man tag was merely good, with the right team going over. MJF tagging in and reaping the rewards of others' hard work was so on brand and a perfect bit of booking. Hager paying tribute to Wardlow, who it was revealed was unable to travel due to family issues, was a nice tip of the hat too. Top Flight getting their heat back after the match by attacking Jericho and the aforementioned MJF seems to hint at a possible match between the two teams. Oh, by the way, that's going to go down next week on that special edition of Dynamite that's going to be starting late because of Bullock Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks squaring off on the season premiere of the NBA on TNT. So there you have it. So 2.5 to 3. That's the best we can do. So that's all there is to say on that. So there's the Wardlow answer. So with all that being said, MF, let's move on.
All right, and with that said, we will indeed move right on along. And the next thing we had was a whole bunch of more promo stuff. Then we had a tag team match. Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels versus the Acclaimed of Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. And when it was all said and done, the Acclaimed gets a big win over SCU. 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Look, okay. This was a good match. This was an alright fight. I'm giving this about 2.5 stars. I mean, I was a little surprised with the outcome of this matchup. For the Acclaim to get the win, maybe that gives them this is too soon for them to get an opportunity at the AEW World Tag Team titles. Clearly, they're not trying to groom them for a title shot, are they? I don't know. Anthony, I just don't. What is your feelings? I mean, it was an okay match, but for me, nothing to really write home about.
No, nothing to write home about. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. And I noticed on the next show that I noticed that the Young Bucks are going to be defending the World Tag Team Championship. Is it supposed to be these guys? It is. No. MF, how do you feel about this? The Acclaimed will challenge the Young Bucks for the World Tag Team Championship next week. They're getting a shot next week. They're being groomed already. So I just found that out. So but anyways, 2.5 star match. The pre-match rap battle fell flat, and the crowd's lack of reaction to the Acclaimed's victory suggests the push may be a bit too quick, a bit too soon. They were a step or two off SCU, showing their youth and inexperience. While they are impressive athletes and look like $1 million, they could really use more refining before they are thrown into a World Tag Team title match with the Bucks. Not a bad match by any means, but this definitely feels a bit premature, even if AEW's dedication to spotlighting fresh new stars is commendable. If only WWE would do the same thing. But, that's neither here nor there. So 2.5 stars for the effort. So Michael Bullock, I mean, we literally just had a championship committee moment here. I mean, the Acclaimed, they beat SCU, and now the Acclaimed are going to get a tag team title match against the Bucks next week.
Yeah, I mean, this was a little surprising. I mean, I was more on Fletch's side. I mean, I thought maybe it was a little too soon, but obviously AEW thinks that maybe this is after a win like that, they deserve the opportunity, and they're going to get it next week. So it'll be interesting to see how they do with against the Young Bucks. So Yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's move on.
All right, and then right after that, we had ourselves a women's tag team match. Eva Lees and Diamante versus Big Swole and Serena Deeb. When it was all said and done, Big Swole and Serena Deeb wins the match in 9 minutes and 25 seconds. Anthony Florio, big win for Swole and Deeb.
Indeed, it was. But it's a 2.5 star match here. I mean, the majority of the match took place during the commercial break, a good portion of which was not featured in the picture in picture format. Still, the commentary team put over the improvements made by Swole and her training under Dean Malenko, and the result was a finish that highlighted said evolution. Red Velvet making the save was a logical development and puts her in a position to enjoy expanded TV time, something she has certainly earned based on her recent in-ring performances. The fact that AEW is making a concentrated effort to emphasize a women's feud outside of the title picture is a step in the right direction for the most criticized area of the company's shows. So that's all I can say on this. This was a solid 2.5 star match. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this was a good match. 2.5 stars when it comes to this. Yeah, I think Big Swole definitely looks better. I mean, especially like Florio said, under the tutelage of Dean Malenko. So, can this continue? We'll have to wait and see. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, your thoughts on it?
2.5 stars, you're absolutely right, guys. There's really nothing more to add, so we're just gonna go right on along as we do have our main event. Well, is this the main event? Yeah, main event of the evening, as it was a no DQ match. Joey Janela, along with Sonny Kiss, goes one on one with AEW World Champion Kenny Omega. When it was all said and done, winner of the bout. I actually don't even have a time. What the hell? Fine. AEW World Champion Kenny Omega wins the match. I believe it goes to Michael Bullock. You get to lead off. Omega wins the match. I don't know why, but they did not give me a time here on ProWrestling.net. Anthony, if you can find it, help me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say maybe Florio could find it.
6 minutes, 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Just note the 7 minutes.
Whoa, that's a short main event. What the hell?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly short, but obviously they want to build. They continue to build Kenny Omega as this mega heel with Don Callis, and I'll give this about maybe um I'll give this about maybe 2.25 stars. I mean, I would have loved to see more with the with the abilities of these two guys, but yeah, I mean, after the match, you had Pac and Ray Phoenix and Pentagon. Who's Fletch? Can you pronounce the other guy for me? Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna
What?
from the Lucha Brothers.
No, you got it. Pentagon. It's Pentagon Jr., but they call him Penta El Zero Muero.
All right,
But it's Pentagon. It's Pentagon Dark.
Pentagon.
Pentagon Zero. Yeah, you're right. You were right, Bullock. You don't have to. You
All
don't
right.
have to. Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure if I got it right, but yeah.
No, you were good.
All right, but yeah, I mean, and Pac was basically like, wait a minute, the reason why you won is because you never beat Ray Phoenix, and basically, Don Callis basically acting like the prick that he is. He basically says, "Oh, no one can no superstar can order me and the world champion what to do." Well, Pac just dropped a bombshell. He said he got off with Tony Khan, and next week Kenny Omega will defend the AEW World Championship against Ray Phoenix. So, yeah, I can't wait to see this go down. Ray Phoenix and Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship next week. All I can say is
2
sign
weeks.
me up.
2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks.
December 30th.
All right. Well, either
not
either
only
either either way, all I can say is sign me up for it.
the last time these two men fought, and I remember this, it was in AAA. It was the Heroes Immortales, the Heroes and Immortals, and it was for the AAA Mega Copion. This was for the Mega Championship. It was for the AAA World Heavyweight title, and Kenny Omega won the title. He beat Ray Phoenix for that belt. Could Lightning strike twice, or could Ray Phoenix do the impossible and take the the
AEW World
AEW
Title.
World Heavyweight title away and stick it to Kenny Omega, like Omega did to Ray Phoenix?
This would be like payback is a bitch. You take you take the title from me. Now I'm gonna take your world title. Will it happen next week? I mean, 2 weeks from now. Well, we're gonna find out. But either way, I cannot wait to see that happen. Fletch, I give it to you. I know you're more excited about this than me and Florio are, even though we're excited for it. But you knowing the history of these two, you're saying shut. I mean, if this was a pay-per-view, you'd be saying shut up and take my damn money. It's yours, Fletch.
Well, I was going to say, gentlemen, that, yeah, you're absolutely right. This is going to be one heck of a main event. This is going to be a heck of a title match, to say the very least. And, yeah, like I alluded to, Heroes and Immortales was the match where the fight happened. It was in Guadalajara in Mexico. And on that night, like I said, it was Kenny Omega winning the AAA World Heavyweight Championship. Ray Phoenix can get the ultimate revenge, get a semblance of payback from losing that title by winning the AEW World title and taking it off Omega. Now, a lot's gonna be riding on this match as well, because there's also the fact that you got Don Callis. You gotta be very leery of him now, more than ever before, and whatever may be. Of course, Kenny, you're gonna have Pentagon Dark there. You're probably gonna have his crew there, and what's that gonna be like? So you're gonna have a clash of styles, a clash of war, and what a match for that to go down. To close 2020 for AEW. So I mean, what a matchup that's gonna be. Yeah, this main event was disappointing. This was about 2.25 stars. I mean, you're a little under 7 minutes, and you're like, wait, for a main event for a no DQ fight? What is that? This is obviously, I'm very disappointed. I'm very not happy with that. Because you'd think a main event match should be longer than that. We got slighted. We got shafted big time. I'm sorry, I'm not happy. Not happy with AEW on this one. I feel like they took a step back here tonight more than anything else. Anthony, it's yours.
Florio, are you there?
Tony?
Oh, I'm here.
There he is.
All right. What? All right. Go ahead. It's yours.
Little glitch there. Little glitch. But before I get into my thoughts on this, I have a question about the intro. You know, when Justin Roberts does that big intro, why does he always put such an emphasis on North Carolina? What is that all about? I don't know.
Yeah, are you really questioning Justin Roberts, Florio? Really?
No, I'm not questioning Justin Roberts. I'm just saying, what is the North Carolina thing? I mean,
Look. There's so many different variations. There's so many different ways that he pronounces it, especially when it comes to Justin Roberts. That's almost like questioning him. Why does he do the John when he does the John Moxley?
no, I know why he does that.
I mean,
No, I'm not questioning. I'm not
Come on, Mario.
I'm not
You should never
questioning him.
question Justin Roberts,
I'm not
especially
questioning Justin Roberts. I'm just wondering.
WWE when he would say,
All I'm asking is,
Undertaker.
yes, I know, I love that, but I'm just wondering. I mean,
I don't think there's really any.
are there any ties to North Carolina? That's what I mean.
I don't believe so.
He does that North Carolina thing. I'm like,
I can check, but I don't think there's any ties to North Carolina that I know of.
that's what I was wondering.
No, I don't think. I think that's just I think that's just random. I think that's just kind of his thing. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to find. We'll have to look into that. Well, actually, they did a Kenny Omega mentioned this about a month ago. Yeah, we've been stumped regarding why Roberts included the lineup on North Carolina, and Kenny Omega. Oh, I get it now. Okay. Kenny Omega says it's an homage to our old friend MF, Mr. Ray Clay. I think you know where I'm going with that. Ray Clay, I think you know what I mean by that. So
yes. It rings a bell. It definitely rings a bell. We can go there.
That's what it is. That I just found out about it. I just found this dirt sheet a little bit ago. So, all right, now we got that mystery out of the way. So it's an homage to Ray Clay when he did the legendary Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls intro with the North Carolina. That's where it is. Okay. But anyways, 2 to 2.5. I mean, talk about a jam-packed main event segment rushed due to time constraints. There's another mystery right there. It was time constraints, guys. Kenny Omega essentially squashed Joey Janela here, while some will cite the table spot as evidence that Janela was allowed to appear competitive. The fact of the matter is that it was concocted to avoid total squash status. Regardless of one's opinion of AEW's use of Janela since day one, there is no denying that Omega looked like a dominant champion whose one brief flirtation with overconfidence nearly cost him the win. Ray Phoenix emerging as the next challenger to the gold makes sense, and having Pac, whose own issues with Omega are well documented, announced it was a nice touch, and sets up what will be a must-see championship clash for the final Dynamite of 2020. A solid way to end what was a non-stop night of action and storyline development for a company riding away with momentum, even though compared to our other show, I don't think it was as good. So, especially with the two big main events they had tonight, that's all I'm going to say. So with that being said, all right, about 2 to 2.5, and Phoenix and Omega for the title. MF, I mean, you know more about that story than Bullock and I do combined. So, and you pretty much dropped the 96, 97 JR knowledge on him like you always do, and do so well. So that's all I can say here. 2.5 time constraints, guys. That's the reason. Move on.
There should be no reason for a time constraint, especially when it comes to a main event on AEW. Come on, guys. I mean, you could have filled the time more wisely than that. I mean, that's a cop out in my book. I'm sorry. I mean, you got WWE running overtime almost every week on NXT. I mean, you can clearly run over a couple of minutes on TNT, for God's sakes. I'm not buying that bull crap for 1 second. 7 out of 10 for me. That's my rating for the show. Florio, go before I really get set off.
Yeah, and we don't want we don't want him in cerebral viper mode. That's all I can say on that. So,
and trust me, folks, when Fletch goes into cerebral viper mode. You better get out of the way.
Yeah. Indeed, we've both been there. It's not fun. But anyways, I'm going to be a little more generous here. I'm going to give it about 7.5. That's the best I can do, to be honest with you. I mean, there were some good matches. Some could have been better, yes, but as far as this goes, it was a solid and somewhat fun show with only a few moments within the ring that bogged it down. There's a lot going on in AEW, and they're hitting their stride in both weaving stories and people together while also creating and enhancing new and familiar characters. And yeah, that's really all I can say on that. And yeah, Kenny Omega, he's going to be very busy lately. I mean, if you heard the big news out of Impact Wrestling, oh yeah, I can't wait for that show next month. That's all I can say. So, and I know MF and I will have a lot to say about that come Monday night on Ridiculously Raw. But for right now, it's a 7.5 for me, maybe a 7. So it's between 7.5. I mean, 7.5, I think, is the best we can go. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, let's quickly get your thoughts, and then we'll get into what ended up being an incredible and loaded NXT.
You know what? I'm going to be a little more harsh on them. 6.5 for me. I mean, basically for what Fletch said. I mean, you talk about a main event like Kenny Omega and Joey Janela, and this is all we get. I mean, come on, TNT. You could do better than that. I mean, you could at least overlap it for a main event like this, and to end it just like that? No. I'm sorry. I cannot accept it. I cannot accept it at all. Plain and simple. So 6.5 for me. Let's get to NXT now. Before I go in the same way like Fletch.
All right. So with that said, we're just gonna dive right in. It's time for NXT, and boys, did we have a good start to the show? As it was Kushida and Leon Ruff going up against what they're calling themselves the Way. Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. The Way wins the match in 10 minutes and 8 seconds of actual airtime. There probably was a commercial along the way, but if you want to think about it, this was good. This was a solid opener. I liked it. I love the body of work of all the guys. Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory worked really well. And give a lot of credit to Leon Ruff and to, what? Did we lose? We lost Michael Bullock. Okay. Hopefully we'll get him back momentarily. But no, this was a solid opener. Anthony Florio, I mean, Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano looked good, but also give a lot of credit to Kushida and Leon Ruff, because I thought they looked pretty well in this match. This was, for me, easily 3 stars.
Definitely. 3.25 for me. While this won't be a tag team match anyone will seek out down the line, this was smartly wrestled and booked. Austin Theory picked up his first victory since quitting at the end of a bad losing streak. Leon Ruff looked resilient but outmatched. The biggest story was how well Kushida was protected. When he got involved, he was unstoppable. The only reason the Japanese superstar could not do more was because Ruff was so insistent on staying in the fight. This sets up a future fight between Gargano and Kushida at the right moment. Can you imagine Gargano and Kushida down the road?
Ooh-wee!
One-on-one for that North American title?
Dude, that could be 5 stars.
Oh,
If you've seen Kushida's body of work, and I know you have gotten to see enough of him, but I've got to see more of him through New Japan. Oh my God. Marty McFly, he lives up to that moniker.
He certainly does, and I'm not gonna go against what MF just said. I mean, MF knows more about this stuff than anybody, so he is the New Japan guru, just like Derek Ferreira is. So that's why the two of them made such a great team when it came to the New Japan stuff. But all kidding aside, 3 to 3.25 stars. A great way to start off the action on this loaded NXT. So Michael Bullock, it seems like you got a great new stable here, a great new heel stable here with the Way, with the Garganos, Austin Theory and Indy Hartwell. I mean, that could be the next great stable in NXT.
Yeah, I mean this. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes the rest of the way. So, with them, and they're proven to be a dominant faction, and yeah, so 3-3 and a quarter. I agree on the match here. I mean, yeah, I mean, I could see Kushida getting an challenging Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship, and yeah, that could definitely make for something really good. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right, and then from there, we had was Tyler Rust going one on one with Tommaso Ciampa. Once it was all said and done, Tommaso Ciampa wins the match in 8 minutes and 50 seconds of on air time. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Okay, um, I'm gonna be honest about this. When I saw that, I mean, I'm like, Tyler Rust, who's this Tyler Rust guy? And when I saw it was Ciampa, I immediately changed the channel because I was expecting this to be like a 2 minute squash. Oh boy, was I pleasantly surprised when I came back to this. I'm like, what? These guys are still on? I thought he would have squashed them in like 2 minutes. No, sleeper fight of the night right here, guys. I got to give this 3.5 stars. I mean, some will say that the match went too long, but the overall effect was exactly what it needed to be. Rust looked like a star, challenging Ciampa blow for blow. He made the former NXT champion look vulnerable in a way few have, which sold him as a future major threat on the black and gold brand. Ciampa's feud continues with Timothy Thatcher in an interesting manner. The two have a unique respect for one another, and while the Blackheart won the first fight, if Thatcher defeats the second match, it could be a huge moment for the technician. So for me, easily 3.5 stars and easily the sleeper fight of the night. So Michael Bullock, I got to be honest here. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I was expecting this to be like a 2 minute squash or a burial, but no. Tyler Rust hung with Tommaso Ciampa. Could he be the next Leon Ruff? He might be.
Well, we'll have to wait and see on that, but yeah, I mean, I'll give it. I'm gonna give this maybe 3-3 and a quarter. I mean, this was definitely much better than what I expected. I mean, when I was watching this, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a squash or it's gonna be a dud, but it really delivered, and Tyler Rust definitely hung with Tommaso Ciampa, but in the end, Ciampa got the win. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Obviously, the outcome was never in doubt. Ciampa was going to win the match, but Tyler Rust, my goodness, Mike Bullock, I'm gonna say it, man. I think NXT just found their next diamond in the rough. I mean, that's all I can say about that. That's exactly what I want to say. Is that I think they just found a diamond in the rough with this gentleman. I mean, Tyler Rust looked very good in the match. No doubt about it. Really nothing more to add. So guys, we move on to a major match as this was a number one contenders for the NXT World Title as it was Kyle O'Reilly representing the Undisputed Era versus the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, the winner of the bout, in 22 minutes, 46 seconds, and now the next number one contender for the NXT World Championship, Kyle O'Reilly. Michael Bullock, it is all yours.
What can you say, guys? This was the fight of the night here, hands down. I mean, these two really, I mean, they really delivered. We knew this was going to be something really good with these two. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go 4.25, maybe 4.5. That's what I'm going with. But yeah, I mean, these two really, like I said, they delivered, and now Kyle O'Reilly, he gets another chance. at Finn Balor for the NXT Championship at the New Year's Evil, the first NXT of 2021. And we all remember the last time these two were in the same ring. It was a hard fought match, and to the point that these two had some injuries there. So that first encounter was something really good. I can only imagine what the second encounter is going to be like. I cannot wait to see this one go down. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it was the fight of the night, and these two delivered. But can you imagine New Year's Evil, the second encounter with O'Reilly and Finn Balor?
Holy freaking crap! What a match! What a battle! What a war! I mean, yeah, without a doubt, fight of the night, 4.5 stars. Um, Anytime Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly go at it, it's like, oh my god, what a war, what a battle. I got nothing bad to say. This is why NXT is one of the best companies in the world today. When you get matches like this, I don't care who you are. I don't care what company you're from. When you put two well-crafted, absolute thoroughbreds of wrestlers in the ring and just let them go, I don't care about the limb manipulation. I don't care about all the moves that you do, the ground, the aerial assaults, whatever you want. This is just pure press professional wrestling at its finest. Any company around the world, take notes when it comes to this. This is what professional wrestling is all about. And these two men, especially when you got one of the best mother you know what coming out of the UK in Pete Dunne, and one of America's finest and Kyle O'Reilly. God damn, this was amazing. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
What else is there to say that hasn't been said already? 4.5 stars, fight of the night. This was one of the best matches aired on NXT television all year. These two men did not pull a punch. It was as physical and brutal as the clash between Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor from NXT 31 back in October that left both men injured. There may not be any main event scene working at a higher level than these two. Hopefully, Pete Dunne will get a chance to face Finn Balor in 2021, but it makes complete sense to revisit the match that put the Prince on the shelf. Balor needs the chance to prove he did not just get lucky escaping O'Reilly's wrath. So, mark it down. 3 weeks from tonight, the first NXT of 2021, New Year's Evil. Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship. The TakeOver 31 match, we rated that 5 stars. Could we be doing that again? We just might. So get ready. Get ready 3 weeks. Get ready, folks. So that's all there is to say on this. 4.5 stars, hands down the fight of the night, although there was another good match on this show. So not much more to say. MF, I think we have some cool down stuff coming up here, I think, right?
Sorry about that. Yeah, we definitely had some cooldown stuff, but I'm just gonna blow by through the cooldown stuff. We did have Shotzi Blackheart versus Indy Hartwell. Shotzi won the match by disqualification in 406. That was because of the fact that basically the Way had their way with Shotzi. Then we had Killian Cross versus Desmond Troy. Killian Cross wins the match in a minute 5. Welcome back, Cross. You looked amazing. And then we had ourselves the main event. And Anthony, I know you're going to want to talk about this one because this definitely was talked about. Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm. Again, they left me hanging on the time. I don't know why. But Toni Storm beats Rhea Ripley. Holy freaking crap, are you kidding me? Anthony, it's yours. if you thought Dunn and O'Reilly was good, this one right here is why this is the best women's division in all of professional wrestling right now. Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley tore the house down tonight.
They certainly did, and bear with me as I get the time of the fall here. I have 13 minutes and 53 seconds. That's what I have. So 13:53.
Yeah, I got no time. ProWrestling.net's been sleeping behind the wheel tonight.
411 Mania did not. So that's all I can say on that. So 13:53 is what I have. Maybe it was longer. I don't know, but for me, this was the second best fight of the night. I'm going to give this about 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm have history dating back to NXT UK. You remember Toni Storm took the NXT UK Women's title off of Rhea Ripley back when the roles were reversed, when Toni Storm was the babyface and Rhea Ripley was the heel. Now the roles are reversed here. You've got Ripley as the babyface and Storm as the heel, and they have history, but their chemistry has always been questionable. This was their best match, but both have looked much better with other top women in NXT. It is a testament to this women's division that this match was only good for NXT, but would have been great for any other WWE show. In the end, the Aussie rock star needed to win. She makes far too much sense as the next challenger to perhaps or rival to Io Shirai, dating back to the 2018 May Classic final, which was at that Evolution event. The Nightmare is forever established with plenty of big victories, late last year, about a year ago. She helped elevate Toni Storm without losing any momentum. Raquel Gonzalez versus Rhea Ripley was a really good match back at Halloween Havoc, and it feels so much more intense now. Their eventual rematch will be one to watch. So that's all I can say on that. So it was a 4-star match, but Raquel Gonzalez getting involved, I'm going to knock it down to between 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. But it was still a great match. It was the second best fight of the night. Nowhere as good as O'Reilly and Dunn. So that's all I can say on that. So 3.5 to 3.75, second best fight of the night. Michael Bullock, another week, another women's match. Even with a clunky finish, another home run. You got the best women's division in all of professional wrestling, man. Take a bow for that.
And this is why, why the NXT women's division is the best women's division in professional wrestling right now. So, yeah, I'll give it 3.5 stars. I was going to give it 4, but the Raquel Gonzalez involvement took a little bit away, but it was still a damn good match, no doubt about it. So, yeah, another Raquel Gonzalez, Rhea Ripley down the line. Oh man, I can't wait to see that happen again. I enjoyed it the first time these two went at it. I can't wait to see it again. When? I really don't know, but definitely a big win for Toni Storm. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it is yours.
3.5 stars, no doubt about it. I'm not even going to add anything else. So, Michael Bullock, you're the voice of NXT. What did you think of your show tonight? How did they do?
They won the Wednesday Night War tonight. To me, I'm going to give this about an 8 out of 10 for me. Yeah, you did have some cooldowns that did take away from it a little bit, but the matches that obviously really people are going to be talking about. Obviously the women's match, but the one they'll really be talking about was Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly. They really tore the house down, and yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, I say NXT won the Wednesday Night War. What
Oh, this
says
was
you?
easily. This was easily. This is easy. This is 8.5 for me. And yeah, you're absolutely right. NXT crushed AEW tonight. Just the two matches alone. Dunn versus O'Reilly, Storm versus Ripley. That's all you need to know about NXT tonight. Those are the two shows straight up you got to go out of your way to watch. Other than that, it doesn't matter what else you do. Yeah, you had a couple of good things here and there. You had a couple of fights that were, you had like one or two fights that were pretty meaningless, but go out of your way to watch those two matches. You will not be disappointed at all. Those are the best matches of the evening. NXT wins. Anthony, it's yours.
And I just got some big news. We can add another match to that NXT New Year's Evil show. In addition to Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship, MF, I know you're going to be very. I'm not even going to ask if you're going to be interested in this. I know you're going to be interested in this. Karrion Kross and Damian Priest. Let's go.
Oh, shit.
Just found it on Twitter.
Oh, that's a be a man fight.
Hoss.
Oh, they're going to destroy each other. Bow and pray? Yeah. Bow to this. Man.
We got two huge main events. I mean, you got a potential 5-star technical wrestling a la Flair and Steamboat type. And then you're going to throw out, then you're going to give us what could be the Hoss fight of the year. Oh, boy. So that's all I can say on that.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with your rating, MF. It's a no-brainer. It's 8.5. NXT wins the week mainly because of those two huge main events. Both of them delivered, and you had some other good action as well. I mean, we only had one, maybe two bad matches on this. So, well, two bad matches, but other than that, everything else was solid to good to great. So, yeah, NXT, congratulations, take a bow. You got one over on AEW. So, well done, guys. So, not much more to say. 3 weeks from now, can't get here fast enough with those two big main events. And who knows what else they're going to add to it. It's not going to be just those two. There's going to be more. You got to imagine there's got to be a women's match thrown in there somewhere.
They're going to make this into another network takeover event.
Oh, yeah.
This is the feeling. You got to feel like they're going to try to match this up. Like if they are on another network takeover. And I think there's really nothing more to add.
Yeah, I can't wait for those two big main events. So there you go. 3 weeks from now. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yep.
New Year's Evil. World title match. O'Reilly and Balor and Kross and Priest. Oh, my goodness. Let's call it a night, MF. And we got a big college football. Well, it's the season finale of College Football Thursday Championship Week. And there are some makeup games that are going to be in there. If I may, MF, real quick, I just want to let you all know we're going to do the show very uniquely. What we're going to do, we're going to get into the makeup games first, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes, which is the championship games. So with all that being said, MF,
whoa, hold.
What?
And there's also another factor that we're going to add. For the first time ever, we've never done this before. 3 NFL games are also going to be added to the card on tomorrow's show. Well, no, 2. Because we got 2 Saturday night games.
That's right.
One
yes.
has a major significance because a division title could be won.
Oh, yes, we've been waiting 25 years. We've been waiting 25 years, baby. It's going to be over.
It could happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Well, you never know because who is it? The Raiders?
Denver.
And isn't it in Denver too?
Yes, it is.
Don't underestimate Denver in Denver.
I'm not.
Remember, Miami made that mistake and it bit us.
Yeah, you did.
Do not make that. Yeah, do not make that same mistake.
Nope, we're not going to do that. We got the foot on the gas, and we're going to keep it on that gas until we end that drought.
We'll see. All right, guys. So next week, tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern, like he says, we're going to cover it. And from there, who knows what happens after that. So for Anthony Floyo, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much, everybody. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world, and have a good night. So long, everybody.
Goodbye.